So some massive news in the NCAA realm of things, college football, and I apologize. Normally I get you these kind of episodes in a instant reaction, whether it's Thursday Night Football, which we just talked about a second ago, or this Bill Belichick taking over the UNC job. Normally I get you these right away, but again, maybe you can kind of tell I'm super meted up right now. I am cracked out of my mind when it comes to cold medicine right now in this exact situation. But you should have heard me yesterday. If I sound bad today, my wife didn't even know who I was when I came home and I was speaking to her. So I apologize for that. This is a little late, but still, I want to get some of my analysis on this Bill Belichick to the University of North Carolina. As my voice is starting to warm up now and maybe not sound as raspy, but I don't know. Maybe it still is. But Bill Belichick has accepted the job as the UNC football head coach. And there's been some mixed emotions of it. And honestly, I'm going to be really brief with you. I understand both sides. And normally I'm not there. Normally I'm pick a side. Don't sit on a fence. No, you want to hear me pick a side. You want to agree with me, or you want to tell me in the comment section why I'm an idiot. I love both of that. Truly, I do. Kind of love it when you call me an idiot more because I think it's just funny that my sports opinion can make people so mad sometimes because sports at the end of the day largely doesn't mean anything. But let's talk about it. There's the side of, he's 70 plus years old. It's not going to work out. He's old. He's rigid. He's out of touch. He's not going to be able to connect with these young guys. He was struggling to connect with late 30s or early 30-year-olds. Now you're expecting him to connect with 18, 19-year-olds. Well, no, I don't. I'm expecting him to connect with a new generation. That generation, that is me, that grew up watching Bill Belichick. I guess I'm a few years older. You know, I like to think of myself as younger than I really am. I'm 26 at this point. These are 19 to 20-year-olds, so maybe I'm missing the boat just a little bit here, but these are players that grew up watching Bill Belichick. And if I'm a father, and of course I'm not, but if I'm a father or a mother, and I want my kid to have the best chance to succeed, and Bill Belichick comes to my home, or the Bill Belichick disciples come into my home, and they're trying to sell me on UNC or trying to get my kid to go to UNC. Listen, I feel pretty good sending my kids to an 8-time Super Bowl winner. He won one of them as a coordinator. For those of you that will tell me that he only won 7 Super Bowls, so 7 plus 1 is 8, clearly. So I understand that side. I don't think Bill Belichick needs to really connect with these kids. If he was having them from a longer period of time, sure, but most of these kids are transfer out fairly quickly. But in the transfer portal is where a lot of teams are starting to see their success. It can really elevate you to that next tier of football, or it can de-escalate your situation and make it worse. Bill Belichick is going to clean up things in the transfer portal. Because if you're a player looking for that next place to go, and you know it could be potentially your second to last chance or last chance to really make things work out in college football, who is the number one coach who continues to take other people's trash or other people's second-tier players and making them very good players? I mean, we had Chris Hogan, Danny Amendola, and Julian Edelman in a Super Bowl. This was Tom Brady throwing to former lacrosse players. Belichick knows how to find talent. He knows how to coach talent. And it's why, if you're asking me, originally, if you would have asked me how I thought this was going to work out, immediately I thought about it and I went, this doesn't make any sense. For some of the same reasons everyone else did. And I still kind of buy into those reasons. Rigid, old, doesn't connect really well with players, but I think about it. Belichick is absolutely going to succeed at the college football level. This isn't trying to succeed in the SEC or trying to succeed in the Big Ten or, for that matter, the Big 12. This is the ACC. SMU just got into the college football playoff. If you're telling me the worst Clemson team to make the playoff ever and SMU can get in the college football playoff, one of them get a bye, and then the other one still get a pretty good path, I do believe Bill Belichick will find a way in the college football playoff. Now, if you're asking me if he'll win a natty, if you're asking me at some point, can he make it to the semifinals of the CFP? Probably not. That's probably for the real deal, elevated, elite college football programs. But if SMU can succeed and their head coach, so can UNC, backed by Bill Belichick, in a conference that's not very good. And then you see their NIL immediately skyrocket. We've seen teams, look at Arizona State for this matter, go from 0 to 100 with just going through the transfer portal. And if you're a player looking for that second, that third chance, well, who better to help you out than Bill Belichick? If you're a quarterback that wants to make it to the pros, if you're a defensive back who wants to make it to the pros, you go to Bill Belichick. This idea that you have to have the personality of Dabo Swinney or the personality of Kenny Dillingham is crazy. Nick Saban cleaned it up for years. He's gone. There's no... Kirby Smart is still there. But there's no reason why Bill Belichick cannot succeed. And with the coaching and schematics and his plan to run it like a professional football program, which is what all college football programs should be doing, will work. Bill Belichick is going to take UNC to the college football playoff in the first year. And you think it's crazy until you look at their schedule. It's a lot of TCUs. They get Clemson at home. It's not a tough schedule. It's not a tough road. And when you look at the worst Clemson college football playoff team ever, and I mean that as in this is the worst Clemson team to ever make the college football playoff. That's what I mean, not the worst Clemson team ever. And then an SMU team that, come on, no one's really taking them that seriously. They lost to Clemson. Belichick is not only going to clean up in the transfer portal, he's going to get more out of less from his players. He's largely going to have one of the best defensive schemes. He's going to bring in a lot of really good head coaching, and he's going to immediately set up UNC for success and immediately be a college football playoff contender. And I think in his very first year, make the college football playoff. Now, you can argue, will it work long term? I don't know. There might be a little bit of a Jim Harbaugh element to his game where Jim Harbaugh, he kind of wears you out after a while. But I know one thing. Bill Belichick is not going to have to go in there and get the buy-in from his players or earn the respect from his players. He'll just go ahead and knock his 8 Super Bowl rings, 1 as a coordinator, 7 as a head coach, and all the players will, in unison, buy in to his model. This is a guy that had the greatest quarterback of all time. This is a guy that's had some of the best defenses of all time. Excuse me for thinking that the college football landscape will not be as difficult. Listen, it is a whole different realm of college football. Bill Belichick in the old model, not sure I buy into it. Because it's a lot of Nick Sabans. It's a lot of those just 4 teams in the playoff. It's not as much transfer portal driven. The way college football is set up right now is ripe for the taking for a guy like Bill Belichick. And it's why I ultimately believe that it'll work out. Now, there'll be bumps, there'll be bruises along the way. It is kind of interesting that a 70-plus-year-old guy is going back to college at this point. But hey, you know, people say it's going to be tough for him to recruit younger guys. Well, I point to his girlfriend and say, well, he obviously has a way with the younger people. He said tongue-in-cheek, but I trust Belichick. And I think parents will too with their kids. And I think players will ultimately buy in. And I 100% believe that in a very weak ACC, that Bill Belichick will get the University of North Carolina in the playoffs in his very first year as the program's head coach.